Hi, this is Gayle. Welcome to my channel. This is Service Dog Friday, where I answer your questions about owning a service dog. And today I've got a question from Colleen. First, let me ask you to subscribe. And when you get to the point in video where you like it, give me that big thumbs up, okay? But subscribe to get notifications about this and all of my other videos, travel, unboxings you're going to want to follow. Hit that subscribe button. Click that bell, you get all the notifications, and give me a like. Well, the other day I posted asking for your questions on what to answer about Service Dog Fridays, and I got a lot of great questions. One came in from Colleen, and she says, I get don't pet the service dog, but what questions can I ask? I'm asking out of concern. I am not asking to be nosy or rude. If this is a nosy or rude question, please pardon my contacting you. I love your channel. Thank you, and have an awesome day to you and Tomlin. Colleen, thank you. This is a great question to ask. A lot of people share your concern. At least I hope so anyway. It seems like it. There's a couple of questions that you can ask. You can ask, is this a service animal required because of a disability? The other question is, what task or job has the dog been trained to perform?
Those are the two legal questions that can be asked by legal entities to determine if a dog is a service dog. That's different from someone who is asking out of concern. But anytime you have questions, go ahead and give the ADA helpline a call like I did to clarify that portion of this video.
Since you're talking about asking out of concern and not rudeness, I appreciate that. Beyond that, ask if you can talk to the service dog handler. Don't ever approach the dog saying, oh, how cute, like some people have done. And don't approach the dog and automatically assume it's okay to pet, which I'm glad you know that, but some people don't. Approach the handler if you're going to approach someone and say, hi, I noticed that you have a service dog. Can I ask you a couple of questions out of wanting to know and not trying to be rude? And just tell them, just like you told me in the email, if you feel like this is rude, please disregard it and go on. 99% of the time, I think when approached like that, handlers are going to respond favorably. I know I do, and I think other handlers would too, because just say, I'm trying to learn more, and that opens the door. Other service dog etiquette things. If you see a handler and a service dog, let the team live their life, but note to yourself that that's a service dog. Don't make an issue, don't approach anybody, just pay attention that that's a service dog. Because if the handler should have a medical emergency, since you know it's a service dog, you've already realized that puts you a step ahead on asking if the handler needs help. A lot of times they won't, because that's what the service dog is there for. But should you see someone fall unconscious or have a seizure, that's pretty obvious. And since you already know there's a service dog, you already know something's wrong. Which leads me to how to treat someone who has a service dog. And see, we don't have service dogs because we're trying to put one over on anybody, or because we're high and mighty, or trying to get special privileges. Those of us who have service dogs because we need them just want a service dog so we can lead our life, because it's not that we want a dog, it's that we need the dog. If somebody comes in and they're making a ruckus, and kind of have to question about whether or not they're legit. And I'll get on fake service dogs. I've got some videos on that, and check those out. But all we want is to live our lives, okay? When you see somebody that has a service dog, you know automatically that there's something wrong. So just pay attention if you're in an area where a service dog is. But like I said, don't make a scene, don't make a fuss, don't approach or anything like that. Just kind of note to yourself that it's a service dog. That way, if something goes wrong, You can ask if the person needs help, or obviously if they fall unconscious, you already know something's up, so you can ask for help. Obviously, another reason that you want to make a mental note that there's a service dog is so you don't step on the service dog. Oh my gosh, we have had this happen several times with me going back to school, and nobody means to, but you're not necessarily looking for service dogs. So making a note that there is one makes you aware of where it is so you don't step on the service dog. Don't toss your backpack on top of the service dog. You know, big deals there. Now, in college, there may be some special accommodations that come into play for a person who has a disability, and that may be where to sit, because someone who has a service dog, trust me, needs a little more space so the service dog can lay down next to the desk or get under the table. It's because they need it, okay? And always, always, always keep that in mind. And that being said, don't feed the service dog. Don't give the service dog water. I was at a conference one time, and a woman saw my service dog working. She doesn't say a word. She goes and gets a cup of water, and she brings the cup and sits it down right in front of his nose. Now, aside from him being a service dog and her approaching and me getting mad, is it ever smart to walk up to a dog you don't know and put your hand 2 inches away from his snout? Really? Okay. So always ask the handler, do you feel like your dog is thirsty? May I get you a bowl of water to give to the dog? Don't give it to the dog. Give it to the handler. And if the handler has a mobility issue, they may say, yes, please go ahead and put the bowl down and give the dog some water. But ask the handler if it's okay. Let the handler give it to the dog, or make the determination if he or she wants you to give the water to the dog instead of the handler doing it. Same thing about food. Oh my gosh. Do not toss a bone, scrap of meat, or anything to a service dog when you're in the restaurant. I won't get started on that. Just trust me. Don't do that. You can actually ruin a service dog. People have done it. So I won't expand on my opinions of that. If a service dog approaches you, respond to the service dog, okay? The service dog may be trying to tell you something. Now, if the service dog is just trying to get your attention, then the service dog needs some remedial training, okay? But otherwise, if a dog approaches you, there may be a reason. If a person is laying on the ground and the service dog is barking incessantly, there may be a reason, so pay attention. You see a service dog that's without its handler, get help and go look for the handler. If you have already noted that there's a service dog, then you probably know what the handler is wearing. Use that information. Never, never, never ignore a service dog if you're approached, and never, never, never ignore a service dog, especially if you don't see a handler with it, okay? Because that is hurting the person who needs help by delaying that assistance. So anytime a service dog approaches you, anytime you see a service dog without a handler, assume that there's a problem, act accordingly. If the service dog approaches you and the handler's there, ask the handler, hey, are you okay? Do you need help? And the handler will let you know. Obviously, if the handler doesn't respond, get help. So, always do that, okay? Otherwise, you know, don't make a big deal out of the service dog. You know, service dog and handlers, we're just trying to live our lives, okay? We need the dogs, but we want to be treated like everybody else. The reason that we have service dogs is so we can be treated by somebody else. So be respectful, acknowledge that, you know, let us have our space, and let us just live, okay? So Colleen, thank you for asking, and I hope this helps. You got any more questions, you know, you got my email. address, and that's in the description box below. Those who are watching who have service dogs, chime into the conversation below, okay? Give me your thoughts on what you think the general public should or shouldn't do when you're out with a service dog. Very important. And thank everybody for watching and subscribing and supporting us. And we'll see you out, about, and online. Bye.